I'm so happy. I have these wonderful guests, and I've been looking so forward to this. Judy Heft and Leslie Montanile from the Women's Business Development Council, and they're going to tell us about the holidays. And I can't wait, because personally, I'm about to be counsel here, so nice to see you.
You too, Tony.
And so nice to see you. So when we talked about subjects, I had this great idea for a subject, and you guys were, no, this is the one we have to do. Tut, none of your feeble excuses. Why this subject, and why so, even though I think I know why so, why do you want to share this off your heart and your mind and your soul?
Well, you know, Tony, it's such a stressful time of year for everyone, and if you're going through any life change situation, it makes it even worse. So we just want to remind people to focus on the good things and not get crazy with all the holiday hoopla, and learning how to say no and what's really important, knowing what's really important with family and friends, and it's not all about the almighty dollar right now, shopping.
Well, you know, and how could I put it? This is me. We grew up in the same town. And I can remember one time I got a Christmas tree out. These guys here, the people that work for me, I'm breaking with tradition. I am doing a Christmas tree this year. And I was doing a Christmas tree about December 5th, and my parents were looking at me saying, it's way too early. You know, you need to do that like December 10th or something like that, you know, December 15th. Many people did it Christmas Eve. It was, you know, you chop the tree, you bring it back. I walked into a garden store in October 5th. My lawnmower busted. I went to buy another one, and a whole room, everything, you know, the music, the, it was, you know, overwhelming. And I thought, this is October. Is it the fact that holidays are, shall we say, they're compressed upon us more soon that makes it more difficult for people? Because you don't have that little brief window anymore. You really have like a 3-month period for holidays.
I really think that the retailers have come into our lives for all the holidays. They all tumble one after the other, whether it's Halloween and then all of a sudden it's Thanksgiving, and way before Thanksgiving, Halloween was being taken down and Christmas was being put up. So it really does make it more stressful for all of us to start thinking about the holidays coming, but we can take that stress and we can turn it around and start focusing on what we can really do to make the holidays meaningful. And it's not about the stores or the retailers or buying the gifts, but more about the people in your life. And Judy and I were discussing that one really great way to start focusing on the holidays is perhaps making a gratitude journal. And beginning with the letter A, calling it 26 Days of Gratitude every day, write down 3 things that you feel grateful for. So by the time the holidays are in full swing, you will have a completely different focus than what the retailers want us to be thinking about, which is the gifts you're buying, or the trees, or the food, or everything that goes along with that.
Leslie, you hit on so many things, because I was raised Catholic, and a large part of Christmas in those days was Advent, the Advent calendar. Every day had some type of a meaning to it. Say this prayer, think about this, do this act of kindness, on to the next day, same thing. So your focus did shift by doing it. It's that same principle that you talk about. I believe that since we're so, as you say, bombarded by everything, and the fact of have to go here, have to go there, have to shop, have to cook, have to bake the cherry pie, you want me to sit and do a journal? I mean, where am I going to find the time to do a journal? But the fact of doing that journal, I think, keeps you on an even keel. You know, and that's an excellent suggestion. I mean, you recommend doing this in the morning or late at night or whatever works for you?
Whatever works for you, but I think the morning is probably a good time, because that's when you're really thinking about your day. And if you sit down and you take the time, some people meditate and just really relax and have your cup of coffee before you start your day, and then take your journal and write your 3 things, you know, whatever letter you're on. That way you might go into your day with more of a feeling of relaxation and thinking, you know what, I really do have a lot to be thankful for. It's really about more than just shopping today and spending money.
And you don't have to buy a journal, you can email it to yourself. You could just make
Right.
a
That's a great
list.
point.
I did it this morning for me. I started with the letter A, and I have my son Alex. I have a dear friend Anna, and I'm also thankful for assisted living because
Right.
it helps me with my mother.
Mhm.
So those are 3 things that actually put me in a really good mood today while I was driving up here to meet with you. So
Well, the very wise old man told me once is whenever you're feeling, grousing and depressed and angry and whatever, I might give in to that every now and then. Think about some things that you have that money can't buy. Yeah, who can buy your son? It's like there's so many things like that.
well, you can't buy an act of kindness.
No,
And
you cannot.
you may think your act of kindness is random,
Mhm.
but to the stranger that you're kind to, or the person you lend a hand to, that to them could be their entire holiday and their entire day, and help them focus on what they have, which I think is the most important, is that you really need to focus on what you have and not what you don't have. And the retailers want you to focus on what you don't have and what you need to buy.
Let's talk about that. You had a thought.
I was going to
see.
say also, and I just thought about this now, we haven't talked about it, but when you do start the day off with a gratitude list, and then you do have to go grocery shopping or gift shopping, when you get in that line to check out, think about that person that's working behind that register and greet
Mhm.
them and ask them how their day is and be thankful and generous to them. And like Leslie said, you can't buy the kindness, and just show them appreciation, because so many people are just breezing so quickly through those lines, they're not even thinking about the person that's there to help them.
The person
That's a
is
great way.
almost like an automated function in the minds of many, like an extension of the cash register.
Exactly.
And that's real, because that is a human being who's toiling and trying to do their best under really very difficult conditions. You're dealing with crowding and traffic and out of stock, and I wasn't here for the sale, and what's wrong with this thing, and on and on we go, but you're right.
Simply greeting a cashier by
Yeah.
saying, "Hi, how are you today?" you will see an automatic change in their attitude, because probably it's 1 out of maybe 50 people that actually greet them eye to eye.
Right.
As opposed to just, being busy in their own life, or even on your phone at the checkout. It's really sort of, it's rude. We've lost our manners along the way.
We can do a show on manners.
There you go.
Yeah, we could do a show. Sure.
Manners.
It's true, these people that are in the checkout usually have name tags on too, and you
Mhm.
can even greet them by name. Take them a minute or a second
Right.
to read their name and say, "Hi Tony, how are you? How's your day today?" Really personalize it.
And I really think that when you have your children with you, as out there with you in the stores, they learn from you.
Yes.
And they
yes.
will mimic your behavior as they get older and become young adults. And I'm bringing up children because we talked a lot about children and the holidays. And in our society, you have the retailers with the one great toy or the one great doll that everyone has to have. And Judy and I were talking about, you don't have to run out to the store on Black Friday. You can spend it with family, because really that's most important. Or on Thursday this year, even the stores will be open. If there is one great toy you know about, you should plan further in advance so that you're not caught up in that hubbub and that rush. And it really does take away from the Thanksgiving spirit of things to be running out shopping at 6 in the morning or 10 at night waiting online for the one great toy. And you really can think about, what am I teaching my young children about that? They may not really know what you're doing, but eventually they do. And it's all about teaching children what's important and giving to others, because most children have more than the next child. There's always someone that has less. So we talked about, when you have young children, they should maybe give up an old toy for something new before they get something new. Or their allowance money, if they earn allowance. Maybe they want to give $5 of their allowance money to buy a toy, to donate to a Toys for Tots, and bringing the whole family in on the giving spirit.
It just definitely makes families closer too. It's a great bonding thing to do with your children, to teach them about giving, because I think they're so used to when you're in the store with them, I want that, I want this, I want that. You know, little Joey has that, Susie has that, I want it too. And teach them, you know what, there are a lot of kids that don't have as much as you do, and let's maybe buy something for someone else too.
Well, and you guys hit on so many things, because it's that thing of that bombardment. I imagine it probably starts somewhere. I don't watch Saturday morning cartoons, not having small children, but imagine it starts sometime during September, and it starts hitting you at various points in time. You hear the music, the pressure is building. Now, you know, not for nothing, we have not had the most wonderful of economic cycles. There's way too much stress, there's way too much debt, there's way too many unsold homes, there's wage dilution, job insecurity. I mean, ills of the world, we can go on forever. So here is, you know, Joe and Susie parent, or shall we say Susie parent in a lot of cases, who's like, I have to do all this, and I have to provide for Christmas too, because I want to provide the Christmas that my mother and father would provide for me to my children. And really, I don't want to say it's an impossibility, but it is an incredible undertaking, to the point where people are just flat out. And they, as you say, they have this social pressure where they feel, I need to do this. How do you combat that? I mean, yes, the gratitude journal. Yes, do something for someone else. But, I mean, is it really time to take a step back and say, I don't have to get full tilt on this merry-go-round. I have to look for the true meaning of what's here? Or are there like just a couple of things that you could do during the course of a crazy day to say, okay, I caught myself, I'm not getting off into that?
No, I think one of the things that's, you know, you get so many invitations this time of year. You know, there's so many parties, business, social, your children have parties. You need to really look at that and say, you know what, I'm not going to say yes to everything. I just can't do that. I need to, you know, spend some time just to maybe stay home and relax and think about what I'm doing, or just have this time to look about the gratitude, meditate, or whatever it is that you do to relax. You know, watch a family show with the children. I don't think that happens too much anymore. You know, just take time to know what's important and what's not, and not try to jam everything into this last month of December.
Well, I think what you can do with children is you could go back to doing some things that are more old-fashioned, creating a gingerbread house, doing it with your children, and they can give that as a gift to somebody, or baking cookies, or baking pies, or something like that that's fun, it's in the kitchen, it's interactive, and those are wonderful gifts to give to people who don't have, because it's your love and care that went into baking the gift, as opposed to going out and buying the wrapped up chocolates or, you know, other items you can find along the way, that you actually took the time, and you certainly would save a lot of money by not buying the gift. And really, you can make cards, kids can make all kinds of things out of construction paper, which we really don't use anymore, but they can also do things on the computer. I think doing things as a family and getting together and deciding what's most important, what do we want for our holiday this year. Maybe we want to trim our tree and have a few friends over and open up our holidays to others. Open up your holiday table. Invite the parent that doesn't have the significant other with their children over, because you know you're making far too much food than you can all eat, and there's so much leftovers, and you're never going to finish it. So open up the holiday table, bring somebody in, invite them over, have someone over for a meal, offer to babysit for that single parent, you know, offer to help them out during the holiday season, because that's an act of kindness that will go a lot further and be remembered than any gift you can buy in any store.
Well, I can remember, and I know we're coming up on a break, but I can remember many years ago where I had absolutely no money. Perhaps that's remained consistent, but and I was thinking, well, what can I do? How can I, you know, partake of the holidays? And I would be surprised at the number of free concerts, free chorales. You're walking in New York, you go to the just the atriums of the building, and you would see professional musicians Like one year I walked in and I saw Eddie Layton, who was the Yankee Stadium organist, was playing a free concert. He was playing holiday music. And I was wiping the tears from my eyes. Had absolutely no money. Just got married. Started a new job. And it's just like, those things are still out there if you look for them.
There are a lot of free concerts. There's one in the MetLife building.
Mhm.
I walk in there to go to Grand Central and I see they have it set up at Christmas. They have the decorations set
Yeah, it's
up.
the
and they
building I
have-
worked in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it
great
was the
concert
Pan
they
Am
have
then.
there. Yeah, the Pan Am building. I've stopped there on my way to the train if I've had time and listened to the
Yeah.
concerts. It's been very good. And even in the malls, I know in our local mall, they
Mm-hmm.
have students come in
Mhm.
and do concerts, musical concerts,
Yeah.
which are great. Just
Really neat
instrumental.
things. And it
Yeah,
just
there's a
kind
lot
of,
you can do.
there's
just
a
have to
lot
think
you
about
can
it.
do.
You can check your local community boards.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what you can do for holiday stuff, because there is always free concerts. Sometimes there's free movies and free shows. Definitely the malls have stuff going on. Even the department stores, the larger ones, may have some free giveaways too, like that, where they do some fun things.
Sometimes there are free Saturday morning movies in the movie theaters.
Yes.
Different times a year, yeah, so you can definitely look for that.
Which is really, yeah, and
There's plenty
it's all
you
there
can
for
do.
the taking. I mean, which is, another thing. There are so many really free arts events you could go to, or for a very small, and you see really great stuff, and you're not breaking the bank at all, and it's, we're all like doing the phone or the video game or this and that, and we forget about the fact that there's a great legacy of music and art and performance that we could go to, especially during the holidays.
You know
My
what,
vote.
museum entrances are very inexpensive too, and you pay
Sure.
what you can, and children are practically free anyway, so that's a good thing to do at an art museum.
For sure, and we'll be back in a moment. There's so much here on this list I really want to go through here with Judy and Leslie, including but not limiting to creating a spending plan. How about that, a budget? You think our government can do that? Right back in a moment.